Welcome. Welcome, returning and new subscribers. I am Goddess High Priestess Empress Alala Theta. Welcome all. Give you all a few to receive the notification that we are live. Now, the title that's on there right now, that literally just popped into the frequency, popped into the vibes. And we do have a Kazemi going on, which is when the planet reaches the heart of the sun. So basically a conjunction between Jupiter and the sun. That is the Kazemi at this time. In the sign of Cancer at 3 degrees. 3 is the degree of Gemini. Cancer mantra. I feel. Gemini mantra. I think. 3rd house, Gemini. 4th house, Cancer. And it's quite an ideal moment because it is also happening as we approach the new moon in Cancer. Look at the sign of Cancer, the 4th house, as the portal of birth when something enters into a new world or a different dimension or realm. Because as you know, what you feel and as your thoughts are connected to that feeling, it becomes your reality. So with this Jupiter Kazemi, I did say I was going to give y'all a few, right? Listen. The vibe was just vibing. Now you realize, now you see, now you set it free. Huh? Did it pull up? Yeah. So with this Jupiter Kazemi, with the planet of Jupiter, has to do with higher learning as it is connected to the sign of Sagittarius, as well as the ancient ruler of Pisces. So we're looking at higher learning, philosophy, foreign travel, affairs, things of that nature. Also having to do with the entrance point of godhood, God mode, 9th house. The mantra for that house of the 9th house is I see, which is on the axis or the reflection of the energy of Gemini. Now, part of the reason that is coming up as the title, now you realize, now you see, now you set it free, because you're in a position of connecting to what sets you free while also being presented with what holds you in bondage. The way you recognize that something is holding you in a position of bondage is it's basically you feeling as though you're unable to follow the desires of your heart, or physically speaking, you can feel this level of tension within your heart chakra. Now, let's say you're going through that type of experience. You want to be aware as to what your thoughts were before that sensation, what occurs afterwards, and especially when you are relieved from that tension. Because I feel for the collective with this Jupiter Kazemi, meaning that it's in the sign of Cancer at 3 degrees, you're going to be feeling the depths of a thought that may have not come to surface for you to fully see it clearly, and now it is. The more prepared you are to receive the information, the intel about that feeling, the quicker what you call synchronicity, the quicker that'll come through for you to recognize, oh shit, this is why this was happening. This is where this feeling came from. Now that this situation is no longer present, or you have made a decision within yourself to no longer invest energy in it, you feel much lighter. Okay? But we're going to see. We're going to see what the collective message is here for you all. Let me wait for this thing over here. Girl, nobody want to hear that shit. Okay. So yeah. And on top of that, the moon is in Gemini. Again, this Kazemi in the heart of, that's what Kazemi is symbolic of, what it means. It means to be in the heart of. Whenever there is a conjunction, once again, between the sun and the planet, meaning they meet face to face as if it's a kiss, it's called the Kazemi, enters the heart. So the energy of that other planet becomes even more expansive. And a planet such as Jupiter, when it comes to where you see yourself, especially when it comes to where you feel at ease in your nervous system, is what's coming to the surface. Okay, so let's see. What degrees is the moon in right now? Let me see. 26. Taurus. Wow. That's a heavy hitter energy for this type of alignment we have for this message, because Taurus has to do with the senses of your body, trust in the wisdom of your body about what is time to make adjustments on, so you can heal and soothe yourself from it by focusing more on what soothes your nervous system, and anything that goes against that really being at a point of no longer tolerating or having personal boundaries that are non-negotiable. Finally. This is what I'm getting from that here for some of you. Finally. It'll happen at some point. The key is that it does, where you align with those non-negotiable boundaries, personal boundaries. Because until then, you'll keep experiencing situations that is going to create tension in your life, and it's going to create tension in this center space where, in order for you to connect to your truth, you have to be in alignment to that heart chakra. What you got here? Galactic Healer. Move forward with an open mind. 17. 8. Strength that is coming from trusting your gut. Now, some of you may get this urge to be mindful as to what it is you're consuming or digesting. Now, digestion can happen, not just through your stomach. It's any of the open gates that you have in connection to your senses. But what I'm picking up here in regards to the gut, in order for you to be able to trust and have that deep resonance with your gut, you have to be mindful as to what it is you're placing in it, so it doesn't create a blockage where there becomes a disconnect now between you and receiving the messages that are coming from your gut. Okay, So in order for you to move forward with an open mind, because this open mind is going to allow you to have a connection to different portals of a higher perspective, so that way when it's time for you to make that precise movement forward, you know exactly what to do, when to do it, why you're doing it, who you're doing this with. In most cases on this part of this journey, it seems as though you're going to be doing this by yourself, as you should, because you're stepping into a portal that you have to go into alone, unless you are a legit twin. Because again, we're going from the moon being in Gemini to a new cycle, new moon in Cancer. Cancer being the birth portal. This happens every year. Okay? So if you're new to this channel and you're against astrology, this ain't the place for you. But I can tell you this though, when people are going through situations and knowing what's going on within the cosmic rhythm, their ignorance is exactly why they're going in an opposite direction. Because what I'm seeing within the cosmic rhythm is exactly what's happening with them, but because they don't want the intel, the cycle repeats itself over and over and over again. Or you'll have those who receive the information but don't fully, place themselves or immerse themselves into the solution because of some sort of fear. And this could have to do with a level of, past belief systems in regards to what's going to allow someone to be prosperous, successful, accomplished, things of that nature. Okay? Let's see what else coming through here. We're not going to be here too long this evening. Gotta get my running, you know what I'm saying? Energy signature, shit. The past is in the present. Move forward with an open mind. The past is in the present. Whoa, 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 whoa. Galactic healer. I just heard you remember now. You remember what you came here for. This is not new to you. This is not new to you. Having resonance with the cosmic rhythm is what allowing you to, see certain things before it arrives. Now, cosmic rhythm, as that's being mentioned, doesn't have to necessarily and only have to do with astrology. Some of you can just have this deep resonance with the stars, with space, with your galactic family. What you're remembering is what you came here to do. Again, the essence of the grid worker, where you're being guided to go in different locations because your vessel carries a frequency that literally generates power through and to the land that you are in. 1333 on the clock up there. You could be a Lyran. Shout out to my fellow Lyrans. Now, integrity, Águila, eagle. See, heart chakra energy, Kazimi. And move forward with an open mind. But you're going to have to be willing, solar plexus, to go through the transformation. These are both 17. Because what you came here to do, the past is in the present. Your energy signature, human design could also be significant for you, as well as galactic signatures. What's today's? Which is based off of 13 moons and 28 days, 28 lucid moments, rather. You ain't dazed out. The yellow magnetic human. The affirmation for the yellow magnetic human, Kin 92, I unify in order to influence. So that would be the merge between the feminine, masculine, pituitary, pineal gland, land of milk and honey, Lemuria. You're here. Okay, so you're here to bring heaven on earth. For some of you, continue to move in the alignment, is what I heard, in the alignment that's allowing you to continue the process of bringing heaven on earth. Earth. 555 on a time. There's a calling some of you have that has to do with bringing a certain level of influence to the collective, that has to do with you bringing heaven on earth. The way you bring order to chaos is by unifying, connecting oneself to the law of one, moving beyond non-duality. Whoa, okay. Moving beyond duality, non-duality. Your light body, your light body, which means that there's a full activation of your pineal gland or the masculine energy within you, a healthy one, which is also symbolic of a solid root chakra, being rooted and grounded, feeling secure. Secure enough to be more than okay and comfortable within your waters, okay? Sacral. Being more than okay with being in your waters, being in your emotions, being and living out your miss story. The story that is being shared through you, that you're also being asked to. It may, for some of you, it may not be something where you're verbally expressing yourself and sharing that mystery, the story of your emotions, but more so having to do with just your presence. You just being and present in an environment is you bringing heaven on earth. And of course, doing more with that presence, speaking, dancing, drawing, whatever it is that brings you joy, whatever literally turns on that solar plexus that brings you joy, keep going in that direction. Anything that pulls you away from that, because of the frequency of this planet, the way it's increasing, and how easily magnetic one can be, if you don't recognize that, okay, you just turned on your vibration to go towards this frequency that could be part of a hell factor or a lower dimension. And the way I see the energy as far as heaven and hell, your hell sits under your heart chakra or the lower chakras. And when they're not activated and fully functioning, you feel as though you're in this state or fire pit that you can't get out of, but you can get out of. The key to being able to do so is having, first and foremost, the will to make the decision, to have the courage to do that, which means that you have to get to the root of a situation in regards to where you don't feel secure and grounded enough to say, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna create, this is where I'm going to make love in life in terms of the sacral chakra. This is where you're gonna allow that sexuality in terms of the land of milk and honey, the pituitary and the pineal gland, to literally work together. The same way that humans create a child is the same type of energy and movement that's going on within the body. As within, so without, as above, so below. But in most cases, in terms of, you know, having to turn on that willpower, it means that you would have to unlearn a lot of these things that you were forced, per se, to see as this is the right way. When you live in by universal law, you're seeing things from a cause and effect point of view, rather, which takes you to a position of non-duality. Because there's a lot of things that people consider right that could be wrong, or wrong that could be right. But when you look at cause and effect, now we're looking a little bit deeper. We're looking at a thought, feeling that creates an experience. What you think or what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, is the cause that creates the experience, the effect. Now, bringing it to a third dimensional aspect, you know what I'm saying, where there is a situation where one is governed by the essence of time and not really connected to their essence of light and emitting that light. When you're connected to that essence of time in a way that it's keeping you in this space of bondage, now what's happening is that you're looking at something from the right or wrong perspective. When you are living in a state of bliss, what does that actually mean? Well, as far as what's going on within your body, this is the activation and the proper functioning of your pituitary, which is the feminine energy, and the pineal gland, the masculine energy, making love literally in your brain, causing this reaction, this response rather, that is called bliss. Because when you are experiencing moments of happiness, these moments are just periodic. They tend to happen in certain moments. But bliss is more so connected to that energy of love and God, which is always there. It's always there. But your happiness can be fleeting at times. You know? Because also when you're in a state of bliss, it creates this atmosphere around you, this essence of protection, okay, that literally bounces off any frequency that attempts to keep you in a lower frequency or completely away from your entire essence. Feel me? So 369 bliss. Facts. So again, the galactic signature of the day is the yellow magnetic human, which states as an affirmation, I unify in order to influence. The way I connect to that first line of these affirmations for galactic signatures is that because that first line includes the word order, on a soul level, it feels as the message for each and every one based on their galactic signature. This is the way you would bring order into a chaotic situation, where you are becoming the alchemist of ordered chaos and not the chaos, you know, taking over you type shit. And now you're really more so connected to the universal and cosmic rhythm, which is beyond time. Now you're connecting to the essence of light. Time and emitting your light. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, kind of hands in hand there. But it depends on where you're at. Not the car doing the same thing. Open up that crown. We sitting here talking about the crown energy anyway. So there's that. you know? I mean, these are eyes, but this is coming through as the esophagus, but as if you were looking at the top of an esophagus, but it's in the heart chakra. And it says, seek clarification, open intuition, which is here. Walking by faith and not by sight. Not too many people have a clear knowing of what that actually means. Walking by faith and not by sight, in terms of what faith is. Where you are living the experience of what it is you desire, even if you don't physically see the conditions in your reality. It's literally what that means. And when you are able to walk by faith and not by sight, you want to talk about turning on the bliss factor, that happens then too. Which gives you the opportunity to open up the channel that you're connected to, wherever your desires is, the vortex of your desires, to open that energy up and allow yourself to receive and call it in much faster without any type of restrictions or resistance. But if you have energies around you, or still a version of you that you're operating from subconsciously, it's going to pull you away or close off that energy, making it more dense and more challenging for you to call in your manifestations. You know? Back to the affirmation. I unify in order to influence, attracting wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the magnetic tone of purpose. I am guided by the power of my own power doubled. So if you were to look at your galactic signature and you see that line, I am guided by the power of my own power double, you would basically be the representation of someone who is the physical representation of your higher self. But if you're not aware of that, there won't be, you know what I'm saying, a productive relationship between you and the version of your higher self. Being that, as that archetype in your physical vessel, to not be aware of that, it can cause a lot of static. And that's with anything. If you don't know the value of something, it presents a challenge to have a productive relationship with it. Similar to, you know, any type of herb someone may take. They hear about, well, this is what this is great for. But until that person really channels, per se, the energy of that herb or studies it for themselves to understand the properties and the values of that herb, there won't be a full connection and relationship with it. Now, it may still heal, but the process may take a little bit longer. Same with the relationships. Certain relationships don't get off the ground or don't move forward because there's a lack of knowledge when it comes to the value of either side. You know what I'm saying? So, cosmic ancestors. Yeah, I feel y'all. Yeah, y'all in here. Voice, wow. Voice your concerns to your cosmic ancestors, not people around you. Because people around you may already have concerns, which is also an energy of doubt. And there's no benefit in doubting. People say, I'm going to give this or that the benefit of the doubt. But what benefit is there for real? None. You know what I'm saying? So voice your concerns. It brought me back to move forward with an open mind for this message, because when it comes to voicing these concerns with one's cosmic ancestors, not for all of you, but when it comes to this communication, there seems to be a miscommunication, a misalignment, a lack of trust, a lack of faith in the way one's cosmic ancestors is responding whenever it is that you are voicing these concerns. So if one is wanting to get the wheel moving in their favor, in alignment, in terms of the wheel of fortune and tarot, it's speaking to you being in alignment with the universal and cosmic flow. 610. This is card 10. 9 of Swords. Yeah, sleepless nights. So they're showing me an image of someone praying or asking for assistance, but because of the restrictions one is placing on themselves when it comes to time, they're losing sleep, unable to receive the answers, and the loss of sleep is actually disconnecting this energy from receiving the answer that's coming through the dream state. So if you're someone who is having struggles with dreaming, remembering your dreams, you want to do you want to make sure that before you rest, you either stretch, you relax your heart rate, bring your nervous system to a calming state, because it'll help you now to, beautifully flow into this delta state where now you can have these dreams, remember them. For some of you, it seems more about remembering. Meditation and grounding is going to be highly beneficial. Getting by water, being still, hearing water. Especially if you have the element of water highly aspected in your natal chart. Because again, when it comes to astrology, you're not just one sign. Everyone is every sign. You have those 12 houses for a reason. And if, let's say, you're someone with a house that's empty, it's pulling from the energies before and after that. Really? 33 is very significant in 10. And 13 again. But yeah. Gratitude. Kerwin said you know a lot. I'm still evolving, honey. Constant evolution here, and remembrance. Yes. Shield your energy. Wow. Look beneath the surface. Now, right away, what this is saying in regards to your concerns, give it back to the Most High. Give it back to Source. Give it back to your cosmic ancestors, because anytime a frog is carrying too much energy, it literally cannot move forward. It becomes unalive, actually, if it were to carry more weight than it can handle. So it is certainly time here when it comes to someone's heart chakra to look beneath the surface. What's going on solar plexus? What's going on sacral? What's going on root chakra? Especially if you're in a situation where it's been a challenge for you to connect with receiving finances. $35. Walk your truth. The first thing about that message is whatever you consider truth at this moment, at this very moment, is the path you're walking, is the experience you're seeing. Now, when it comes to the reality that you are experiencing at this time, it's something that has already manifested. So if you want to pull in a different reality, you're going to have to shift your focus from what it is your sight, your two eyes are showing you, that is being processed over and over and over until you switch your trajectory, until you shift that perception, until you shift dimensions. You're going to continuously play out what you're seeing because that is the only thing you're focused on. So if you are someone who is doing affirmations and manifestations and all these other things, but your main focus energetically is towards the reality you're experiencing right now, obviously you already know the rest. That which you're calling in is either going to take much longer or not going to show up at all until there's a shift. Now, the key to that is what is causing that distraction to stay focused on what has already manifested. If you're wanting something refreshing of a higher vibration, where's your focus? Which is why I always say, be mindful as to what it is you're ambitious about. You know, because that's what's causing you to make decisions, whether if it's consciously or subconsciously, and it's keeping you in a cycle that you may not desire to be in, especially if this is a situation where you don't desire to be in this situation. Are you constantly focusing your energy and tuning into the channel? Let's say if you was looking or scrolling or looking for a station, you already know that this part of your reality has a lot of static in it, but you're finding ways to still hear that same channel when there is actually another frequency that you can go to, another dimension that you can hear or see things much clearer. What's going on in the root here? Let me see. Angels and ancestors, what's going on in this root chakra? Because the way this frog's paws, hands, whatever, the way it is right here is just root chakra energy. There's a lack of trust in the unknown and an inability to be brave and honest. Someone's playing this game real tough and not being able to take care of what it is that they want to take care of because you're using your energy to mask a situation instead of getting to the root of it to handle it. You're dealing with something instead of handling your own business. For some of you, it's on some what other people think about what you doing ain't none of your business. Let them sit with that frequency and vibration that they want to operate in by thinking of you, because all they're doing is being or creating a reflection of themselves. But if you decide to join that party with them, then this is where there becomes a back and forth, and now you're dealing with a situation instead of handling it. The dealing is going to keep the game going. You keep dealing the cards, we're going to keep playing this game. Straight up. What's going on here? Angels and ancestors, what's your guidance here? Cosmic ancestors, take time to reflect. Well, shit. There's that. So now, we're looking at this from a root perspective. This will be your homework. The root has to do with Saturn in your natal chart and the obstacles and challenges that you experience to gain wisdom. Ideally enough, when I read that affirmation and mentioned attracting wisdom, I made that little nudge because that's exactly what came to mind. So when it comes to basic trust, feeling secure, feeling rooted and grounded, you want to get a look at your Saturn placement in your natal chart because it's going to show you exactly where you're going to go through trials in order for you to gain wisdom. And once you gain wisdom as well as apply it, now you don't find yourself doing the same shit over and over again, expecting a different result. You're much wiser. You know what I'm saying? And with that wisdom, you're now making decisions that are based off of your heart's desires and not a broken down or unactive and unhealthy root chakra. Where now you create a foundation for creativity, beautiful sexuality, sensuality, and flow, which is also connected to Venus when we're looking at that essence of creativity and your sexuality and beauty, things that you make beautiful. It's Venusian, but you will have to go through the lessons of Saturn to be more mature, which is why, you know, when people have children, they tell children, you're too young to be doing this. And because of that, there has to be a level of maturity for one to have an understanding and understanding of themselves in order to have an overstanding. Now, this overstanding is not something that's forced amongst people, because in overstanding, it puts you in environments where each one understands and understands themselves. So now the conversation and the energy that's being exchanged is coming more so from a source of love, compassion, from this heart space. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is able to be in their power without anyone feeling as though they getting their foot stepped on. So get a look to see where your Saturn is. The sign that it's in, it shows you the energy. Now, when you look at, let's just give an example. When you look at your Saturn placement right now is in Aries, which is putting you in a position, I called it the Miyagi, where you're the one that's going through the training with Mr. Miyagi at this time as the warrior. You want to do so many things so fast. You want to get in there already. But your teacher, Saturn, is telling you, listen, let's take this step by step. You're going to be great, but let's take this step by step instead of rushing through this, so you can see what truly aligns with you. If you rush through the process, if you rush through certain steps, you're going to place yourself at a risk of getting hurt or injured. You know, so let's say you check out your Saturn placement and you may have a tendency to connect with a certain energy astrologically that you feel as though you're constantly going through the same cycle or the same test. So let's say you have a Saturn in Scorpio and you constantly come across Scorpios who challenge you. Well, they're in the perfect position energetically to help you with your Saturnian abilities, Saturnian characteristics, which has to do with discipline, structure, maturity, things of that nature. Being able to know when it's time for you to step up, because Saturn also has to do with time. Timekeeper, keeper of karma. Karma is simply lessons. That's all it is. It's a lesson, it's a test. The Dharma is the life that you live once you've passed the test and you've gained the wisdom. So if you have a Saturn in Scorpio, your test has a lot to do with being in a position of power, while also knowing where your power comes from. It comes from soul transformation. Now, as a Saturn in Scorpio, you may experience situations where you're constantly wanting to get into these partnerships, or with partnerships, whether if it's career, or you're wanting to bring more structure to your family, or wherever there's a level of partnership, and you're constantly being tested on the soul level, what you're willing to change. But you may be in a position that what's testing you is more so connected to a level lower than the soul. So it's more so a spirit rather than a soul. Because yeah, not everyone out here, every physical vessel, just because you see them walking and breathing, has a soul. Okay? Let's so take time to reflect. Because it's one thing to cut cords. Yes, cut the cords. But when you cut cords, and what you cut the cord from comes back into your space, attempts to come back into your space. When you lack the knowledge of your cosmic rhythm or your cosmic blueprint, it makes it a little bit more challenging as to how you, as the vessel, the body, the soul, would handle this best. Because it's one thing to give a general base idea as far as do this, bump, cut this. However, each and every one has a different design as to the way you can go about handling the situation if it rises up again. So again, Saturn, when you look at your planets in your natal chart, it has to do with parts of your persona or faculties of the mind. You got 12 of them. You got 12 houses, 12 zodiac signs. You got 12 disciples or 12 disciplines of the mind or faculties of your mind. The sign that that planet is in is the way this planet or energy, part of your persona, is playing out. The sign is the energy and the way it plays out. The house is the area of your life. Which is why now when, if you are someone who tunes in to astrological forecasts, you're noticing where they're saying, well, this new moon is in this house, this full moon is in that house. So with the new moon in Cancer, if you are a Cancer rising, the new moon is going to be in your first house. So this is where you're able to plant new seeds when it comes to who you are, the I am that I am, your appearance, your identity, things of that nature. Okay. And if you are, let's say, a Leo, it's in your 12th house. So this could be you going through a shift and you planting the seeds as far as, okay, this is what you're going to be doing now to clear yourself from certain energies. Because in the 12th house, we're speaking about rejuvenation, resting, spiritual healing. So this could be a time where you're planting seeds, Leo, sun, moon, and rising, planting seeds that have to do with you connecting with your cosmic ancestors or your ancestors in general, things or energies that are beyond this realm. So take time to reflect. I want to see what else this is talking about with the root chakra. And also you can look into your moon sign, because this is the way you feel best in honoring what you feel, your emotions, being grounded, what is considered home for you. You know, because your sun sign talks about the energy of your father, your career, your life purpose. The moon, your mother, your ancestors, your home. Your rising sign literally is more so, what is that? Your rising sign is more so the avatar, the energy of the avatar that you are utilizing in this reality. So if you was playing a video game, what people see in most cases is your rising sign. So get to know yourself, honey. Have fun. Just have some fun getting to know yourself. I tell you this from experience, personally, shit. The moment I began diving deeper into my chart, I said, no wonder. You gotta go. A lot of shit ended up having to go for real. But yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And some of you are asking, so how could you tell if someone is living out a past life? One key factor I could give you is that your south node and your moon, sun, or rising are the same. More so your moon, because your moon has more to do with your soul, the energy and motion. You would think it's the soul. Does your sun sign also plays a role too, but your moon sign is more so of the portal that you come through, you know what I'm saying, to enter this reality. And if they are the same sign, your moon and your south node, it could also indicate where you are in this life as an ascended master as well, to an extent. I mean, there's so much more into it. 633. It's pretty intriguing because if you are someone who has siblings, you can see the roles of your siblings, your parents, and the way the entire story plays out. And if you are someone with Virgo placements, which makes you quite analytical, you want to find out information, you want to analyze some shit, or Aquarius, which is connected to astrology, it really does help, and it's beneficial to see how the cosmic rhythm plays out, you know. And it helps with the level of forgiveness, because now you have a level of cosmic information, which is again why I said at the beginning, if you are someone who is not into astrology, skedaddle. Okay? Because once again, I be seeing people going through certain shit. I look at what's going on in the cosmos. Oh, that's why. Okay, you'll be fine. Just this too shall pass. For instance, and it happens on clockwork too. Cosmic clockwork. Mercury retrograde. Technology and shit be fucked up. It do. And it hasn't failed yet. That if I call my mama around that time, if I have a conversation with her around that time, I could almost guarantee she's going to tell me something about the cable. And I literally just tell her, no, don't even worry about it. Don't even trip. It's just getting about a couple more, you know what I'm saying? And watch, it'll be fine. Every time. Every time. And of course, a lot of these companies know what to do. There might even be a price hike in terms of, oh, this is going to happen. Let's put a price jump on these service calls. I used to do tech support for DirecTV. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Used to be helping the technicians on the other line shit up. Yeah. It's wild, but hey. Tell me more. Froggy, shield your energy by taking time to reflect. Take time to reflect. Time is Saturn again. And Saturn is helping you shift your identity while it's in the sign of Aries. Aries also the spiritual warrior. Now, here's the thing. Come September is going back into the side of Pisces, which is why you're also seeing this major uproot in energy when it comes to a lot of changes and tower moments, because Saturn is also the ruler of Aquarius. It's the ancient ruler of Aquarius. The modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, how you want to pronounce it. So there has been a lot of changes when it came to the idea of religion, beliefs, spirituality. That's Pisces. Okay, so it's on some Saturn came to collect when it came to the misuse of the knowledge that was given to humanity to assist the collective, but instead they used it to deceive. Unlock the magic within. I'm loving the fact that the guardians are coming through. Someone could be have the initials of MM as a guardian, as an ancestor that you have on the other side, MM. But we have two guardians here, the guardian of the mirror guardian and magic. And speaking of what it is that you are manifesting in regards to the magician, the magic that's coming through here, what you're being asked to unlock from within is basically the part of you that you haven't unlocked just yet, while you're being asked to take the time to reflect. You know, I have a project I'm working on assigned to me from the Most High. See, it's really direct TV. Yeah. Oh. Yes. I used to. That was years ago. What was that? 2011? Yeah, 2011. That could be significant here for some of you. 2011, 2012. For sure. Before that massive awakening. Trust and thrive. Not hope and survive. Trust and thrive. You're being asked to take the time to reflect on the magic within. What is the truth of the story within you? Your emotions carry the mystery, literally water, emotions, your feelings, water. It's the mystery. That's the biggest mystery. The biggest mystery is when you align with what it is that is within. But some of, people is missing the story, but not going within, because going within could be quite a journey because of what it is that you reflect on. And as you're reflecting, the key is to observe the experience and do all that you can within your power to not experience it as if you're going through that situation again, which is why I bring up astrology. Because as you're reflecting, it's very easy to live out an experience as if it's physically happening. I mean, That's how powerful a thought and a feeling can be. Just from that, it shows you what tools or what resources within you have to manifest your reality. If you can think or have the thought about something that happened years ago and you can still feel it, or you suppress it and it still has an effect on you, until that's cleared up, obviously, until you go in and you do all the snipping and getting everything out, it'll continue to play its role as if it's supposed to. And it's only as if supposed to. If has to do with the condition. So the condition is presenting itself, meaning that it still has a portal to connect to within you, that now it's creating that experience outside of you. Let's say you left one relationship, but energetically you're in something new now. Energetically, it's still the same thing, because there's still a connection to that past. Even if it's not a past relationship, whatever it was that you experienced growing up, until you get to the root of it, reflect on it again, utilize your astrology so you can see what lesson you came here to learn. Saturn, connected with your North Node. Once you learn that lesson, while you're attaining this wisdom, this is what your North Node is showing in terms of the direction you're being asked to go when it comes to your spirituality. Look at your Neptune. When it comes to the way sudden enlightenment operates through you, Uranus, whichever. When it comes to the way things change and end and you feel as though life is fucking over, Pluto. What you really came here to transform and change is going to be shown to you through your Pluto placement. So, me, for instance, I have Pluto in Scorpio in the 4th house, which is why, with knowing that information, I now can utilize my gifts with the collective to help you to get to the root of a situation with information that I may have that you can analyze, having a moon in Virgo. See how we got there? On top of that, this ain't my first rodeo. I have a South Node in Virgo with a moon in Virgo. Yeah, literally came back to do some things. And them things have to do with assisting y'all with trusting and thriving, getting out of this hope and survival mode and this trying shit. Because again, you over here, you gonna learn to get that word try out of your vessel. Because trying is an insult to doing. It's either you're going to do it or you're not. Simple as that. Simple as that. Even with this stag here, the antlers represent a level of wisdom. Antennas that are now ready to grow and connect even deeper and stronger with cosmic ancestors. And remember that film, Leave the World Behind, and the significance of the stag? Yes. 4 leaves here, foundation. Some of you are going to have to leave what you've considered home. But you're going to have to trust and thrive. Trust your heart and the information. You got the Triskeli here in the back, the air symbol, air as the messenger, spirit, that is literally giving you all of the information here. But in order for you to have that resonance and connection, you have to look beneath the surface. You may feel as though something is not stagnant or not moving forward because you have to shield your energy. It's time for you to make that change and shield your energy, because for some of you, there's something of your past that is present. So now they're having me talk to you about the South Node. Your South Node has to do what you did in the past life. Obviously, there are attributes or characteristics that you can bring into the North Node, but not the entire South Node. So if you feel stuck, or you're noticing that even after you're cutting certain situations out, but the energy is still around. You want to have more intel. You want to analyze this a bit deeper, not to the point of over analyzation, not doing shit about it, but more so looking at it and seeing, okay, are you living in your south node or are you actually living in your north node? Because your south node is more so your comfort zone, you know? So trust in the unknown. Even that's a knowing. That's a knowing. To know that something is unknown, it should make it easier for you to trust. The fact, if all you know right now is what you know, trust that. And you can also trust that what is unknown, you know, because you know it's unknown. Give yourself a lot more credit than you giving yourself with these ways of thinking and placing yourself into a box as if, you know, you don't have guidance or spirit guides and ancestors that are ready and willing to assist you on your journey. But you just have to open up into a higher dimension so you can feel and sense, hear that vibration or frequency, whichever way. The eagle here is very significant too. So the eagle is such a fascinating creature. But you know what an osprey has over an eagle? Its ability to fish. Eagles can't fish that well, you know? So it seems as though what's preventing some of you from shifting is this perception of yourself based off of something you're doing. I don't want to say that it's a weakness per se, but it's not your specialty. It's not your specialty. And what is your specialty, you could be thinking it's too simple. But that's what true love, bliss, health as wealth is. Is doing what is naturally gifted and simple to you, so that way you can see the fruits. It's not even so much of labor, it's just the fruits of you exercising and living in your truth when it comes to what comes natural to you. And sometimes you have to have a skill set to counter any type of lack of specialty that you have in order to thrive. So in the example of the eagle and an osprey, which is a bird that's kind of similar to a hawk, they got their wingspans is out there. And whenever it's the season for the osprey to be in the same location as an eagle, the eagle takes advantage that the osprey is an amazing fisher. And what it does is, per se, collects the tax on it. The eagle will literally come up with the strategy to, you know what I'm saying, take what it is that they are required to have at that moment, because at the same time this osprey is invading this eagle's habitat. So the eagle says, okay, you want to come here? You want to eat from my area? Well, this is what we're going to have to do. So while you're fishing, I'm going to come and I'm going to fly around you, do a little barrel, and then just, you know, grab the fish and go about your business, because you can fish for more. Let me have that, though. So, saying that to say, that would be a perfect example when it comes to calling your power back. How? Well, You know what you invested in when it comes to an experience, as far as your time, your energy, emotions, so on and so forth. But that shouldn't change who you are as an unconditionally loving person, one who knows where they come from and who they are in general. May not be such an exact analogy to and from, however, the point of that is take time to reflect on where you may have suppressed your gift, the magic within your ability to create, because of you not being able to have a certain skill set. You feel as though you can't move forward. If you don't have this energy around you, or because someone did this, this is why you're this way. That type of thing. Call your power back to you. Rejuvenated, but call your power back to you. Look at that as an experience, a lesson that allowed you to mature. Because remember, this could be something you're still carrying, and it's causing holes in your auric field. The frog says, shield your energy so that way you can quantum leap, basically. But as long as you have all these air pockets, these holes in your auric field, it's creating more space for you to be in a level of density that is too heavy, and it's not allowing you to lift yourself up and out of it. Okay. You got angels in the outfield. You got angels in the outfield. Make your pitch. Throw your pitch. Just know you got angels in the outfield. This was at the bottom of the deck when this came out. Wow. The Oracle and the High Priestess. Would you look at this? Look at how they're facing each other here. So this has to do with the receptivity of intuitive information, and it's coming through your feelings. So if you're holding on to past situations that create this level of density that is heavy, when it comes to you being able to see clearly and connect with the solution your cosmic ancestors are giving you, it's really asking you to harness the power of your emotions, harness mystic power. Someone is doing something here they're not used to. However, you seem to be on the path of your North Node. It's uncomfortable because your North Node is you stepping out of your comfort zone. And in speaking of angels in the outfield, some of you could be experiencing a lot of cats. And they are relaying messages to you. Whether if you see one on top of a car, whether if you see one go under a car to get some rest. Messages are constantly being shown around you. Especially with that message that said, voice your concerns with your ancestors, your cosmic ancestors, 7444 on the timer. Because some of you are voicing these concerns where you feel doubt about yourself in the current moment, per se, with people who are not the best solution for you where you are at, and what you're shifting to. Because it seems as though, especially with voicing concerns to cosmic ancestors, is basically a hello, yo, let them know they gonna have to go within and stop looking for that validation or that confirmation outside themselves, at least for this moment, because we have the answer, but we want to speak to them directly. We don't need anyone else speaking to them through another person to them. Especially if, you know, people that you've been talking to don't have your best interest at heart. Not to say that you're not, you know, there's people, not to say that everyone is that way, but in terms of not having the best and highest purpose for you. But the way this is coming across is you need to talk to them directly. For some of you, they're literally around you, a past energy, an energy signature that is around you. They could even be providing you with information that's going to help you move forward with an open mind. Not trapped in your head, not trapped in your thoughts. Something as simple as going in the sun and receiving those codes from the sun. Putting your feet in some grass, love. Look at this. Honor your inner knowing. Medicine Mother is at the bottom of the deck. It's a strong feminine energy surrounding you here. That may be an air or fire sign. And if it's an earth sign, it's a Capricorn. Y'all, black and white cat. Fuck. Okay. That's the balance between the dark and the light. 657. Let me look at this lexicon right quick. Hold up. Whoa. Thought that shit too. 657. Ceasing, end, finality. So you know what this is, that has to end. Six 12. Ten of Swords. You're at your final release. And there's a new dawn rising. May not feel that way though. You may be in the thick of it, which is why all of these energies, High Priestess, Oracle, Guardians, Medicine Mother, all at once, and then trust and thrive. Yeah. Wow. Look at this over here. Walk your truth and let go. Let go of any misconception you have of yourself. So you could be waiting for the perfect moment or wanting to say something in a certain way, do something in a certain way at a certain time, or looking to have just enough to do. You have just what is required for the next step. Honor your inner knowing. Wait for important information. Surround yourself with protective energy. Shift your perception. It's basically what we have been laying on the table so far. Air guardian is certainly someone here for you that is an air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house. For some of you, this is a sibling that's younger than you or a sibling that is older when we're looking at Gemini, Aquarius, respectively. For others of you, Libra, in terms of where there could be information that's giving you clarity, that's going to assist you to move forward with an open mind. A lot of air energy there. Show me what's going on here. The lesson. The lesson. The lesson. The 6 of Cups. Shit. Something from your past life, whether it has to do with the past of your childhood or a past life. Something you're clearing out this time, but it showed up sideways, which is challenge. So some of you do have Saturn in Scorpio. This is a Scorpio card. I'm hearing let go of control. Then you have the Wheel of Fortune, 610. That's 9 of Swords. Let go and you'll be able to rest. Let go and you'll be able to rest. Flask. Some of you better put that damn bottle down. Some of you are being asked to fast from alcohol. 610 flask. And take time to reflect on when you desire to, or when you want to drink, rather, what it is that you're suppressing is what you're being asked to take time to reflect on. Because it's the way it's coming through is that the moment that you decide, I need a drink, even just waiting at least a second or two would make the difference in regards to the feelings that come up, delivering a message of why you're choosing to go towards a spirit instead of connecting with the spirit within you. Where does this level of mechanism or action or reaction come from? Is this something you saw growing up, you heard, and it just becomes something that's natural to you? The chain that you're having to break? Breaking that chain reaction? Because what I'm being shown is some of you are going to get to a point where some of you are already at that point where the hangover feeling, it is the absolute worst. But it doesn't seem to be enough to get you to stop because it's not bringing forth the benefit as to why you even drank to that point. Where now you're, drunk and you really can't do what it is that you are asked to do to clear yourself from this energy. For some of you, it makes matters worse because now you could possibly be drunk dialing people that you have to be disconnecting from because that's where the spirits align. Why is the past a lesson? Show me more. The Tower. It's that sudden. It won't even take that long for you to break a habit of escapism. But there's such a lack of patience that disconnects you from the best solution ever to get you out of whatever this energy is that's keeping you stagnant, where you're being asked to protect your energy. And because there is not a protection over your energy, you're scattered all over the place. This is why you're open and susceptible to a lack of growth, a lack of prosperity. Something's locked. Now, if we're in this game of life and let's say this is a video game and you want to get to the point of where you are able to activate dormant cells that helps you to heal. Mentioned this before. If you've been here for a bit, you've heard this before. That whenever the moon is in your sun sign is when you're going through that process of the Christ oil leaving your brain, going down the chimney, which is what people, when it comes to the 25th of December, that's the story really there. But you have your Christ oil, the Christ consciousness oil that goes down your spine and goes straight to the sacrum, rises and sits in the solar plexus to germinate before it rises again back into your brain, lit up, awakening these dormant cells that help you to heal your body. Literally resurrecting a new self. But some of you might be picking up that bottle, doing all this other extra shit that is causing you to be all over the fucking place, 8808 on the time, on the clock up there, doing whatever you want to do to escape at this actual time for you. Cosmic rhythm, as within, so without. You know? And that's just because, again, a lot of these different systems are not the end all be all, but it's what can help some of you here to get to that point of non-duality. Where now you remember the cosmic galactic version of yourself. Now you're truly experiencing what it means to be in this world and not of it. However, that's during the age of Pisces, of in this world and not of it. Because in this age of knowing, this age of the star, is the age of bring heaven on earth. Especially if you are this beautiful, effervescent soul that came from this, and bring where you came from, right over here. Because the heart as an organ within your body is the earth. And that's what's being turned on. ages, humanity has just been living beneath the surface, unable to shift dimensions as easy as it was for them before they came here. Some of you are going through this rebirth where your crown is just as open as it was when you were a newborn. You're receiving a lot of downloads. The lesson here when it comes to what showed up is the collective had to learn moments of their sudden awakening that leads into the remembrance of their soul mission. Because whatever lack of knowledge one was connected to before, that pulls you away from your willpower, because with this being Aquarius, the tower, sudden awakening with this lightning bolt, the reflection of Aquarius is Leo. You can connect Leo to the heart, as well as the solar plexus with that beautiful yellow energy. But it speaks to your willpower, what brings you joy. And for you to reconnect with what truly brings you joy, there are certain things of your past that were lessons when it comes to you going through the process of transformation. From the scorpion, snake, to the eagle, the dove, phoenix, in its most mystical form, the phoenix, rising up from the ashes. Because some of you stayed there. You stayed in the ashes because of whatever it was that was beneath the surface was pulling you down. An example of that would be, it's easier for you to be pulled down by someone that you are attempting to lift up. So reflect on what it is and who it is that you are attempting to lift up and they are wanting to stay down. Allow them to be where they're going to be. But it's time for you to rise. Okay? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Look at that. The magician. Unlock the magic within, as above, so below. There goes your new beginning. A passionate reawakening, rebirth. Literally reinventing or inventing a new world. As it showed itself to you here. A newfound passion. Because you can look at this as the phallus energy, but it speaks to the root chakra. Where are you planting seeds? Make sure it's connected to what brings you joy, what is in connection to your soul mission, your willpower. And release all that fear. Ooh, yeah. But the Eight of Wands. Even if something from the past would attempt to re-show itself into your life, reappear as something that you used to do over and over and over again, expecting a different result, because this is the Nine of Wands. You now have the emotional integrity to see it for what it is. And to know that this ain't it, so it got to go. Because you on your healing journey and becoming the star that you are. Back to the star we go. All right, y'all. So that is your message for this evening. Yes, it's about that time. I love you all. I will see you on the next live. It's workout pool time. Ciao, my loves.